Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and today I'm going to tell you about the 16 games I played at Pax Unplugged 2025. I just got back from Pax Unplugged, and there'll also be a haul video, by the way, of the games I got at Pax Unplugged. There's actually overlap with these categories. I don't know which video goes up first, but that's not this video. This video are the 16 games I played at Pax Unplugged 2025. Not the 16 games I demoed, 16 games I fully played. There were a few more games that I demoed a round or two. I'm not counting those. I'm only counting things that I got full plays of, or in the case of some campaign/legacy stuff, multiple sessions of them in. So, we're going to go through these 16 games. I should note that some of them are not games that were specifically PAX Unplugged games. Some of them are games I brought with me to PAX Unplugged to play if we had the opportunity to do so, and some of them I had the opportunity to do so. So for those potentially less exciting ones, because you may already know about them, they're out there already, you may have heard me talk about them, I'll get the less exciting ones out of the way first. Not necessarily bad games, just less exciting. They're not necessarily the new stuff. To that end, let's start with Roll to the Top. There's a bunch of smaller party games that I brought with me. I was staying at an Airbnb with 5 people, and so I knew that I'd want to have the possibility of playing things that handled higher player counts, especially because there are a few times that we were having meals with friends, and then we wanted the potential to be able to have multiple games that we could dive into if we had even more than 5 people. So I brought a bunch of those with me, and one of those was Roll to the Top. Roll to the Top is from Allplay. I'm actually realizing this is not intentional, but there are a bunch of Allplay games over here, but some of them are just good for that kind of thing. But Roll to the Top is a charming game that I really enjoyed. It's kind of replaced On Tour for me. You roll dice, and then you just fill in boxes as you slowly move your way to the top of something. Sometimes it's a pyramid, sometimes it's a bridge, it's a mountain, it's all kinds of different landmarks that you're trying to fill in the boxes and move your way to the top. It's a fun little challenging puzzle of combining the dice. It's very lightweight, it's very accessible. It's not the kind of thing I pull out when I want a thinky heavy session, but it is an excellent filler game that works well all the way from 2 to 6 players. I want to say 2 to 6? Yeah, 2 to 6 players. There's a solo mode too. I just don't have an interest in the solo mode. So for me, it's a 2 to 6 player fun filler game with 12 different maps, giving you a degree of variety of experiences. That's going to be Roll to the Top, which I just caught this other one. Then from there, while we're talking about Allplay, let's talk about Alibis. Alibis has become one of my new favorites from Allplay. In fact, I'm not missing. Alibis has become one of my new favorite games in the genre of what the game is trying to do, which is about word association. Games like Decrypto, games like Codenames, games like So Clover, which we'll talk about as well. It's a game that handles what's the player count at 2 to 6 players. I personally find that it's best at 3 to 6, and 5 is, I guess, not as good. I'd say 3, 4, and 6 are my favorite player counts, just the way things balance out. But 5 is still good. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I played it at 5 this past weekend. I think it may have. Either way, I played it at 5 this past weekend. So Alibis is a game of you're trying to figure out who the odd one out is. Let's pretend you're playing a 5-player game. There'll be 11 possible suspects. Each of the players has 2 of those suspects, and then 1 is left on their own. So each player has to connect these suspects, and each suspect is assigned a random word. So your words might be pot and tissue. You might have the word pot and tissue. And now you need to give a clue that connects pot and tissue. Everyone does this all at once, submitting their clues to the table, and then you have to parse from the things that you know. You know 2 words out because those are your 2 words. But still these 9 words you have to figure out which ones pair up to the other players and which one is the odd one out. Finding that odd one out is worth the most points, but it involves trying to really figure out how things combine, who had which combination of words. The more I play Alibis, the more fun it is. It has very quickly risen to become one of my favorite word association games. The puzzle of not just figuring out what you were trying to connect, but then taking that information and looking at everyone else and trying to figure out a hierarchy, because your word might actually connect to 4 different possible words, but if 2 of them are more likely, or if John's word over there really eliminates one of them because it has to be that he is connecting to ocean, it slowly lets you finish your way towards finding out who the suspect is. It is challenging, but it is rewarding when you win. This is a scoring system, but I kind of view it as binary. You either got it all or you didn't. It is challenging to get it all. I think I've only done it once, but I've gotten close so many times. Alibis is a lot of fun. I kind of mentioned So Clover, so let's do that as well. So Clover is very much similar vibes to Alibis. I like them both a lot. They fill almost the exact same spot for me. I'd say So Clover is slightly better for me at 2 players, maybe even 5 players, but honestly, both are great games, very similar arcs to what they do, and they both have become some of my favorite in this type of genre. So Clover has you trying to connect pairings of words, but instead of having, 2 per player, you have 8 different words you're trying to connect in sets of 2. So you have 4 different pairings you're trying to create. You don't get to choose them, you are assigned them. So again, that tissue and pot, that might be your pairing. But then around the Clover, as you rotate it, you now have box and house, or whatever it is. And you're trying to connect these pairings, knowing that there's some overlap. Similar to the way Alibis, you can rely on other players to help guide you to a certain extent, meaning other players' clue submissions. In So Clover, the way the cards orient around the Clover forces you to consider pairings almost inherently. It's a fun cooperative puzzle. Both So Clover and Alibis are absolutely fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed playing through those. While we're on the party game train over here, let's talk about Monikers. Monikers is definitely one of my go-tos when I think there's going to be 6+ players. I find you really want at least 6, but anything above 6 tends to be a good time with it. Ultimately, you have 3 rounds to try to get through a series of wards. Round 1, you're going to be shuffling together a bunch of wards. There's some selection process, but basically you have 50-ish wards in a pile that the players are going through. And so that ward might be, and it could be phrases, it could be words, it could be people. You might have Abraham Lincoln, and you can say anything you want except Abraham Lincoln. So I'll be like, oh, you know, it's the president that freed the slaves. That's pretty quick. People say Abraham Lincoln. Boom. You do that for all of the 50 wards with teams. This is a team game, not cooperative, working to try to figure out what the 50 wards are. But then using the exact same words, you shuffle it up and go into round 2, where now you only have 1 word that you can do. So maybe in round 2, I say president, and you say Abraham Lincoln. If you remember, there were 50 other words you may not remember, or there may even have been 2 presidents, or there may have been a CEO. Any number of things can be in the way, but hopefully that 1 word, president, lets you do it. And then lastly, you go into round 3, where you do charades, where I'd probably mimic him getting assassinated in this case, but whatever it is, you do the charades of it, and you have to try to figure out what the word is using charades. And again, it could be words, it could be phrases, it could be actions, it could be any number of different things. It is a delightfully good time, and once again, it was a delightfully good time. While we're on the party game train, we have caution signs. We are getting all the other ones out of the way. We are shortly about to get to all the new stuff. Caution signs over here is one that it's not one of my go-to games, but every time I play it, it is ridiculously fun. From Wise Wizard Games, designed by Daniel Reynolds, it's a game that has you basically having 20 seconds to pair up a kind of category and descriptor. So you might have a fluffy wizard, you might have an angry zombie, you might have a tiny baby, but you have 20 seconds. 20 seconds is not a lot of time to draw this, and the players are all trying to draw their things, and then you submit all these words, shuffle up and some extra things to throw off the tracks, and then the judge has to try to assign them to the various things. Looking at all these, well, there's fluffy, there's angry, there's soft, and there's which one was yours? Because 20 seconds is really not a lot of time to go ahead and describe an angry owl. What is an angry owl? Is it an owl that's just slanted? Like, what? How do you? It's a lot, but it's also a lot of fun. That would be caution signs. That's going to be the games that are less new. I think. I'm trying to think if I got them all here. There's a few more that I actually don't have on the table. But let's go with those. We'll go through them if we missed any others. Those are going to be the 5 or 6 games that I brought with me that were more in the party game genre. There was others. We'll get to Barcelona shortly. But let's talk about some others. While we're talking about party games, there's Hot Streak from CMYK. Hot Streak has kind of replaced Ready, Set, Bet for me. I say replaced with a little bit of an asterisk. I don't actually have Hot Streak yet. And I got rid of Ready, Set, Bet in expectation of getting Hot Streak. But Hot Streak works at lower player counts. It removes the real-time aspect, but it has the same challenging fun of trying to basically bet on the outcome of a race. It is a party game with odds and betting, surprisingly fun, very chaotic. It plays across 3 rounds as you kind of collectively try to figure out what you're going to be betting on as you go. This is not my first time playing it. I had a chance to play it at Dice Tower Retreat, but I had a chance to play it again at PAX Unplugged, and it reaffirmed for me, I shouldn't say reaffirmed. I like it. I don't think I'd ever not be down for a game of Hot Streak. I do wonder if both Ready, Set, Bet and Hot Streak are games that I might not feel the need to own, but would always play. I'm not ready to buy it yet. Maybe I'd trade for it, but I'm not. Hot Streak is fun. It's a fun gambling game where you try to play the odds and then just watch the chaos unfold as everyone cheers to see what happens as you go through it. That's going to be another party game. It's new-ish. It's a little on the newer side, but not the newest on the table. Then we have Barcelona. Barcelona is also not a super new one, but it was on my list of games that I've been trying to play. I had a list of 35 games I wanted to play this year from a variety of categories. I have a month and a half left to the year, a month at this point. I have a month left to the year, and I still have like 15 to 20 of those games left to play. So I made good progress, but not nearly enough progress. But Barcelona is on the list, and I got a chance to play this one. This is not a review. I played Barcelona once. Once is not a review. Once is just a first impressions. But I really like Barcelona. There's so many pathways you can choose as you play through the game. There's so many actions you're trying to take, and you're trying to take the combination of actions, which I love when a game forces you to do that because you have to focus on the grid. And the place placement on the grid is everything as you slowly build out the city, placing down roads, placing down buildings. You're doing all these things, the intersections. Everything is important in Barcelona, and the order you take those actions in is key to trying to figure out how to optimize on points as well as to optimize on your tableau. That first game, really, I am a big fan of Barcelona after game 1. Again, reminder, I do need more plays. This would not be the first time I've told you about my first experience with the game and how much I enjoyed it. And I always give caveats. If it's one play, I always give caveats. And sometimes I can come back for play 3 and 4, and it just doesn't hit the same way. I will say that I would be very surprised if Barcelona goes down for me. Very often, one of the things that pulls the game down for me as I play it is the lack of variability to the feelings I get as I play. And Barcelona, by all accounts, I feel I will have that variability. There are so many different options and pathways and strategies I want to pursue that I didn't get to in game 1. So will I be fulfilled after game 2, 3, 4? At what point will I start to feel like I've started to see it? I don't know. But right now, Barcelona, currently, based on one play, I think I'll be giving it a pretty decent score, but we shall see because more plays are needed. Things can go down, so we'll see. We'll see where this one ends. That's going to be from the slightly older games. I think that covers most of the older-ish games. Let's go through the rest now of a variety of things that are all, I want to say mostly all new or upcoming. And there are a lot of upcoming. There are some that are available now. This is Mogget, by the way. Mogget is a white cat demon from the book Sabriel. So if you've read Sabriel, this is Mogget. Anyways, number 1 is going to be Flintlock. And I don't know if number 1, we've played a bunch of games already, but Flintlock. Flintlock is coming to you from Floodgate Games. It continues the line of games of Blitzkrieg, then Caesar sees Rome in 20 minutes. Then they have the other one, which didn't really, it was kind of felt differently. But Flintlock feels like it's very, very much Blitzkrieg 2.0. That's what they're going for, at least in the theme, the presentation, everything they're doing. If you like Blitzkrieg, you'll like Flintlock. They are similar games. I like Blitzkrieg. I like Flintlock. I do think I still like Caesar more than both of them. Caesar replaced Blitzkrieg for me, but they do kind of have the same vibe. I think Blitzkrieg is a good follow-up to I think Flintlock is a good follow-up to Blitzkrieg, doing more with the same concept. Plus, I believe it's going to crowdfunding. They're going to have deluxe-fied pieces and all that stuff. But overall, if you like Blitzkrieg, check out Flintlock. If you haven't played Blitzkrieg, this is a good time to check out the newest follow-up in the series. And if you want my personal recommendation, I'm still going with Caesar as my personal favorite in the genre. Then we have Mountain Goat's Legacy from Allplay. This is the newest version of Mountain Goats. They're making Mountain Goats into a legacy game. What an odd choice, you think. That's what I thought as well. But oh my gosh, it works. Now, I played 4 sessions of the game. I believe there's 10 sessions, I think. I'm not sure. Plus, there's an ongoing variable mode where you mix together. There's things going on. But in the case of Mountain Goats Legacy, my first 4 sessions, I don't want to oversell this game because it's still Mountain Goats. It's still a light, fun, party-ish game. But I will say, I still have Mountain Goats in my collection. With all the games I get rid of, because I'm constantly trying to figure out what gets played, Mountain Goats has been here since I first backed it way back when they first had that campaign for it. Mountain Goats Legacy is going to be the reason I finally get rid of Mountain Goats, because it's going to have everything Mountain Goats has, and then some. And yes, based on the way it's described to me, I think it fully will be a playable Mountain Goats, where you can just play regular Mountain Goats with it. I think you'll fully be able to play regular Mountain Goats with this game. I will hold off on getting rid of regular Mountain Goats until I'm sure of that, but it'll give you more to the experience as well as the legacy you go through. I had so much fun playing through it. It is still a light chuck dice ascend up the mountain game. I do not want you to think it's something it's not. But it makes me think of lighter legacy games that I've enjoyed. Things like Machikoro Legacy, although this to me makes Machikoro Legacy seem like a terrible game by comparison. It's just a light, fun, little legacy system that I will happily go through and happily go through again as I try to figure out how to go through the story, deal with the adapting rules. I'm not going to get into spoilers in this one. What I will say is, I played 4 sessions, and I'm very excited to dive back into it. Sometimes I think that when I'm talking to the camera and the cats come up to me almost waiting, they're like, who are you talking to? What's going on? Because it's weird. Usually I'm either talking to a person or them, and I'm talking past them, which is a strange feeling. Anyways, that's going to be Mountain Goats, which brings us to Jibber Jabber. Now, Jibber Jabber, I actually have 2 copies over here because I brought my prototype Jibber Jabber with me because I've enjoyed this. It's another all-play game. But Jibber Jabber is a game of, it's kind of just one. It's like the game Just One if it was more about the fun you have while you go through it as opposed to the tactical one-time one-shot you have. You're basically spelling clues. So if the word is thunder, you might want to think of 3 different words that will guide someone towards thunder. So for example, if I was doing it, I might think rain, noise, what's another thing? Lightning. Rain, noise, and lightning. Okay, if I did rain, noise, and lightning, I'm pretty sure you get the thunder. The problem is you don't get that kind of agency. Instead, I know it's thunder, they know it's thunder, they know it's thunder, you don't. You have a card, you don't know what the word is, and so I start off and I go, R. The person to my left puzzles his head for a second. Oh, rain. A. The next person goes I, N, stop. The next person tries to think through what they go, and they go, I don't know, L. Maybe they got to lightning too. But maybe the next person after that can't figure out what comes next because they don't think of lightning. So they're like, thunder, thunder. O. They go with O. Let's O. Okay, there we go. And if you're like, what's O? Lightning was the word, because the problem is you can't communicate. You just have to get there. What makes sense is in the case of the L, someone might have been thinking of lightning, and the other person might think loud. Thunder is loud. So they're trying to spell the word loud. And the next person who was on the lightning train, like they're thinking it through, they're like, lightning makes sense. Now they're like, L-O, what's L-O? Maybe they end up with you and they're figuring out the clue, maybe not. But so Jibber Jabber, it's a lot of fun. If you have a chance to play this one, it's just a... Again, it's just one, but with more chaotic moments in it. And this is still in shrink, though, because I played this the first night, and then I got a chance to pick up this pre-production copy. It's not a final copy, but a pre-production copy of their all-play Jibber Jabble version of this. So, I'm excited to play this one because this one has cooler art and presentation. But that's Jibber Jabber from All Play. Then from there we have the Two Towers. The Two Towers of the Fellowship of the Lord of the Rings trick-taking game, the Two Towers. This is the second game after the Fellowship of the Ring. It's actually the first one I played. I had a chance to play this one at PAX at Gen Con 2024, and now I'm finally got a chance to play it again. Played through like 4 or 5 rounds. But I think I played through 3 scenarios. It was lost, then replayed, won. Lost, then replayed, won, and then again replayed it and won. So we played 5 times, but 3 different scenarios. Full thoughts will be coming later. Overall, I've had this weird thing going on in my head where I played the Two Towers and I thought it was amazing. Then I played the Fellowship of the Ring and I thought it was very good. For a long time, I was thinking maybe it's just that aspect of the first few plays had a higher hype and buzz to it, and as I played it more, it went down a little bit, which can happen. Sometimes the excitement of an experience moves down the more you engage with it. But from having played the Two Towers, I think it's a better game. I think it's just a better game than Fellowship, and I think Fellowship is good. I think Fellowship is a solid 4. Two Towers, it might be a 4, it might be a 4.5. I don't think it'll make it to a 5, but I feel they really just took it's just a harder experience. There's more of a challenge to it. I need to play through the whole thing, so I'll let you know my thoughts once I do that. But for right now, I do think that the Two Towers, the trick-taking game, is a better game than Fellowship, and I do think Fellowship is good. It's a good starting point. This one is just a bunch of aspects to it. I'll get more into it in my review when I think about the reasons why and all of that. Then we have Let's Go to France. If you've played or heard of Let's Go to Japan from AEG, Let's Go to France is going to be coming up. I had a chance, this was completely not on my plan, I just had a chance to sit down with the designer and a few content creators and play a game of Let's Go to France from Josh Gad from AEG. Not Josh Gad, oh my gosh, not Josh Gad. Josh Gad is the actor. But the designer, whose name is Josh Wood. I want to say Josh Wood. I could be mistaken. Sorry, Josh. But Let's Go to France. Let's Go to France is the follow-up to Let's Go to Japan. And Let's Go to Japan has already been a game that's been growing on me over time. When I first played it, I want to say I gave it a 3 out of 5. But then as I continued to play it, I did find that it fell into the same line that Canvas did for me, where it's very light and accessible, but there is more depth to the experience than you might see at first. So the more I play Let's Go to Japan, the more I've enjoyed it. I still have it, despite being a 3 out of 5. When I finally got my copy of the game, I was like, you know what? I'll maybe play it a little bit, and I've enjoyed it the more I've played it. Playing Let's Go to France, though, might make me get rid of Let's Go to Japan, because I think there's more layers to the choices and agency you have. It still has that charm of you going on an adventure. If you play Let's Go to Japan, it's going to be very familiar, but there are a few more things in play, even like the basic idea that you can choose to play a variable number of events to different days. You can have busier days and less busy days. There's a lot more of a time management puzzle going on, but overall, I think it was just better. But I also do want to start a game of Let's Go to Japan now, because I want to play them back to back, so to speak, and see where they land for me. What I do know is that Let's Go to Japan has already been growing for me, and Let's Go to France, I think, is even better. Then I had a chance to play Emberheart. This is one of those games I wanted to pick up, and not only did I get a chance to pick it up, but I also got a chance to play it. Emberheart is from Mind Clash Games. And it's one where it's a worker placement dragon game. You're trying to get dragons, you're trying to get dragon heroes or trainers, or I think it's just heroes. You're trying to get locations, you're trying to get goals, you're trying to get a lot of things in Emberheart, and there's a lot of a puzzle of trying to figure out how to place your workers, because you have temporary workers and you have ongoing workers. You have a lot of workers you're trying to place. Some of them you'll lose each round. There's only 5 rounds of play, and you're trying to do all this. Oh, I'm sorry, you're going to give me a tummy? If you give me a tummy, I'm going to give you like purrs. But Emberheart, it's got beautiful art by Andrew Bosley, and ultimately it's about managing your resources and trying not to get hit by the thing at the end of each round. Overall, I enjoyed it. I need to play it more. I do not think I was wowed by it. I think I had fun. I think it was a good game. The problem is it's one of those games that makes me think that it's going to be a similar experience every time I play. And when that happens, that loses some of the charm for me. So this is kind of like the opposite of Barcelona. Barcelona, I'm like, it was so exciting, it was great, I think it's going to be different every time I play it, it's amazing. And Emberheart was like, this is a great single play. My expectation is that further plays will cement the fact that it's a 2 to 3 play kind of game for me, and not one that I feel the need to own. That said, this is still first impressions. Subsequent plays can change it. I also have specific complaints, but I need to play it again before I talk about those complaints. We'll get into it when I get my review, but again, more plays needed first. Then from there, we're slowly running out of things that I played at this point. We have like 2 or 3 left, but we had Riftbound. I had a chance to play Riftbound of League of Legends over here. This is the League of Legends trading card game. These are sample decks. I actually got these sample decks at Gen Con. Haven't played it till now, but I was with somebody who knows the game, and he taught it to me. I really liked it. In a world full of Star Wars Unlimited, Lorcana, and all these other trading card games that keep trying to tempt me, Riftbound is arguably my favorite one. I don't want to get into it though, because I can't afford to keep getting into TCGs. I already play Lorcana with my daughter. Unlimited I play a little bit, but we'll see where it goes. Maybe if I ditch Unlimited, maybe I'll start doing Riftbound. For right now, Riftbound is a game that I hope to play a little bit casually. I think there's a really good system as far as it kind of feels like Magic the Gathering meets Marvel Snap in terms of the type of game that's going on there. But overall, I thought it was... Hello? Cal? Cal, what do you want, buddy? We got another cat coming. Overall, I just thought it was really well done, and I was not expecting to love it. I thought it was really well done. So, maybe I'll give you more thoughts and opinions if I dive into it more. For right now, a single play doth not a review make, and I want to play it more and see where that single play takes me. From there, we have 2 more, and then we are done. These 2 were done at an Asmodee press event. They do a lot of games. They actually had like 6 games set up, but I only had a chance to play 2 of them. The 2 I played were Carnuta. Carnuta is a game of drafting cards, and you only get like 11 cards total. I think you could get to like 12 hypothetically, but you only get like 11 or 12 cards. Each card both fulfills objectives and gives you objectives. So if you play things like Point Salad, it's that kind of vibe, but with more going on to the selection process of it. But overall, I had fun. I don't think I was wowed by it. I had fun with it. Would happily play it again. There may or may not be a review of it. I don't know. Like, it's not one that I came up with a copy. This is an upcoming game, so we shall see. But based on my one play of it, I am willing to play it again and not in a rush to play it again. And to be clear, that's not a dig on the game. I think it's always hard for games to stand out. I would not actively seek out a copy of it. If I ever end up with one and play it more, then you'll get my thoughts on it. From there, we have Galore. The last game of Pax Unplugged that I remember, by the way, I should note, I keep thinking this whole time that there's one more game that I believe I played. Not got a general overview or how-to. I'm 99% sure there's one more game that I played that I just can't remember. But for right now, I can't remember. So we're going to go ahead with the last game that I do know, which is Galore. This is another one from the Asmodee press event where they're showing like 6 games. This one I really enjoyed. I don't know if it has staying power, but it did remind me very much of, oh my gosh, Calico, in the sense that you start off with drafting tiles. You're only putting 9 tiles down to your grid. It's only 9 tiles the whole game, but you're constantly trying to make everything work perfectly, and you will not be able to do so, in my opinion. Like, it's one of those games where you're going to start off with the hypothetical promise of all the things you can do, and then when push comes to shove, your plans will fall apart, but so will everyone else's, and you're going to see how well you score your little dungeon. More of a minecart situation than a dungeon, but it's dungeon-esque vibes. It was fun. It was cute. It's called Galore. I want to play it again. I do not know if it has staying power, but I definitely do want to play it again. Those are the 16 games I played at PAX Unplugged. A mix of a bunch of party games that I brought with me, a mix of a bunch of other games that I had a chance to demo, some things coming up in the future that aren't yet available, other things that are available now that I just had a chance to play, but these are early thoughts and a bunch of games. I'll be diving into more of the PAX Unplugged games as soon as I'm able to do so. I came back with a bunch more than these 16 games. Not so many to be overwhelming, but enough to definitely keep me busy. Again, if you've seen the haul video, you'll already know some of these that were coming out. If this is the video you saw first, go ahead and check out the haul, because I'll be talking about these as well as a whole bunch of other games, why I picked them up, and why I'm excited for those too. In any case, then until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.